Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Data here, and we are back. It is finally official hours later. Thank goodness we did not stay live all that time. As Timo Meier has officially been traded at 50% salary retained with Scott Harrington for a package. There still may be more pieces coming out, but it seems as though the package is enough there to finally have an idea for a package that includes Shakir Mukhamadullin. I believe I'm getting that all right. Fabian Zetterlund, Andreas Johnsson, Okhotiuk, the prospect Okhotiuk, and a 2023 first round pick. So I'm going to have to pull up some information on these prospects. I'm not an expert on them. I've seen Fabian Zetterlund a lot more than I've seen the other ones. But we also, we see that the package that the Sharks are getting are now... it's underwhelming. I don't know. I guess that's the word that I want to use. It's underwhelming. It's more quantity over quality, if I did have to say, in my opinion. I think that's how I kind of see it. League trade call is done. Timo Meier is officially a New Jersey Devil, according to Pierre LeBrun. And we'll get the details. We'll pull up the instant analysis in a moment. We're still just trying to make sure we get all the pieces of this trade. It's official. Hours later, Timo Meier has been traded to the New Jersey Devils for a package that basically includes 3 prospects, a cap dump, and a 2023 first round pick. I don't know. I don't know if I love it. If I'm a San Jose Sharks fan, especially if I'm hearing that the Devils were turning down packages of a first, a second, and a top prospect. So my initial trade wasn't that spot on in the end, I would say. Take out Smith, take out Woods, take out Holtz, take out the 2024 first. And instead, if I'm New Jersey, I am throwing in Shakir, I'm throwing in Nikita, and I'm throwing in Zetterlund and Andreas Johnsson. Zetterlund actually is making $750K, and he's at the bottom alphabetically. So there's the trade right there. Does this work? Not even, eh? So there's something happened. Mackenzie Blackwood went on IR. Something like that happened. But here's the trade on paper if you want to just look at it all in one place. Andreas Johnsson, Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita Okhotiuk, Shakir Mukhamadullin, and a 2023 first round pick for Timo Meier and Scott Harrington, Timo being 50% retained. So the Sharks get back 3 prospects and a first round pick in a deep draft. There'll be a late first. Andreas Johnsson, just essentially a cap dump. And I gotta say, when people are throwing around things like Simon Nemec, they're throwing around names like Nemec, names like Holtz, like Dawson Mercer at one point. You gotta say it's a bit disappointing. I'm not sure why. As you can see here, it's not showing any comments on the side here, so I can't show any of your comments. I don't know why. None of them are popping up. I'm looking at them on a separate screen. So yeah, Mackenzie back to back data. Yes. Slim saying Sharks get disowned on this trade. Timo is an amazing two-way player. Well, let's start breaking it down now that we know a bit more about the package that the Sharks are actually getting. Let's go back to the JFresh card. As always, that's where we like to start things off. Timo Meier, according to the card, one of the top wingers in the NHL. I think you can call him for a lot of reasons. He's a top-scoring winger and elite driver of offensive possession and scoring chances with excellent hands and instincts in tight. A big player who doesn't shy away from physicality either. So, yeah, crazy. 3N5Z. Holtz is still a Devil. Mercer still a Devil. Nemec still a Devil. And they get Timo Meier out of it. I think it's a great piece of GMing here from the Devils. He's in that 97th percentile of projected wins above replacement over the last 3 years, 99th percentile of even strength offense, 90th percentile of goals per 60, and 85th percentile of finishing. Those are the most notable pieces, I'd say, right there. Just this season, this was his projection card entering the season. The rush offense hasn't come as easily this year, but it's not easy to turn things to run things on your own. Don't think he'll have quite as much heavy lifting in New Jersey. So imagine these projected numbers and put him on the New Jersey Devils with Jack Hughes as his centerman, right? Camo 4, I just saying I called the ability to avoid a major prospect getting shipped out, and here he is. You did it. Devils did really good, in my opinion, not giving out much of anything compared to what they get if they can work out a decent extension, says Juice. Yeah, they win this trade even more if they can get a good extension hammered out. Now, Fabian Zetterlund, let's start breaking down the return that the Sharks get. Fabian Zetterlund, he is, or maybe I should go one by one, starting with the Hockey DB page. Former third-round pick in 2017, spent a lot of time in Sweden, finally came over to the AHL as a full-timer in the last 2-3 years. Actually, even in 2019-20, he was playing in the AHL, then went back to Sweden a little bit. But anyways, last year in the AHL, 52 points in 58 games, a big scoring winger. This year, 20 points in 45 games. Not a bad rookie season. He's a good defensive two-way scorer. Maybe not as much in the NHL, but in that's his style of game. I would say that he's not in the Calder conversation, but I believe him to be in the conversation of the best of the rest. Like, this guy's going to finish like between 8th and 15th or something like that in terms of Calder voting. That's what I see for Fabian Zetterlund. He's a best of the rest kind of guy. He's a solid prospect for the Sharks to take on, but I'm not sure if he'll be much more than a middle six winger. I don't see him being, I'm not sure about top six. That'll be a tough one. Now, we'll get to his JFresh card in just a moment. Just want to get Shakir's card up. Now, Shakir Mukhamadullin, I'm just going to call him Shakir from now on. He was the 20th overall selection in the 2020 draft. I remember people scrambling to say, who is this guy and where did he come from, that the Devils are drafting him out of nowhere. He's yet to play any games in North America. This year in the KHL, he has 25 points in 67 games as a defenseman. This is probably the biggest piece, I would think, coming back in the trade for the Sharks, as Shakir will now be one of their top defensive prospects in their system. Zetterlund, a future top 6 forward, you would hope. And then we want to check out Nikita as well. Let me just pull up his stats just here for a second. As always, scrambling the Jets to get the video out as soon as possible. I'm not sure why the comments are not showing up. It's like the 4th StreamYard of the day, so maybe there's an issue with it there. Let me just pull up the Hockey DB on Nikita. But yeah, a lot of the comments I'm reading from all of you, just not super impressed with what the Sharks got back here. DB, another player with the last name that I have a lot of trouble pronouncing. I believe he's unsigned at the moment. That's why we didn't have him in the mock trade as well. So yeah, 61st overall pick in 2019 is Nikita. Let's pull it up right here. Come on, where'd it go? There we go. My apologies. He's the 61st overall selection back in 2019. He's been playing a lot of AHL time. He is a defenseman as well, so another defensive prospect for the Sharks to get in their system. 6 points in 20 games this season, 3 points in 15 games in the NHL. He's played 10 games this season, 1 goal, 1 minor penalty, a +1 as well. I don't know. Kelly says he doesn't hate the trade. Cam saying maybe they avoided a major prospect since there's no guarantee on the extension. That's a good point there. Because there's no guarantee on the extension, I could see that being the reason why. Jack saying that he thinks this is a fair return. Everyone's going to argue about how the Sharks didn't get something good, but it puts us in the right direction and gets us a lot of value with potential. It is going quantity over quality, I would think, as opposed to taking one major prospect. But what surprises me is the Dave Pagnotta tweet from earlier today saying that the Sharks turned down packages of a first, a second, and a top prospect. Looking at the JFresh card now, Zetterlund, he's a young defense first, bottom 6 winger. I think he can become a solid middle 6 guy. 51st percentile of projected wins above replacement. If we can just get this going here. His even strength offense and defense are both above average, but 87th percentile on even strength defense. That's great stuff. Plus, in the small limited ice time, 4th line time, he's in that 98th percentile for primary assists. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt, but he's a strong defensive forward, big body, and he's going to be a good piece for the Sharks, I think, but he's the only forward coming back. The Sharks get, in terms of prospects, 1 forward prospect and 2 defensive prospects. Helps to restock the shelves, but no big wow factor. No Mercer, no Nemec, none of those pieces that some people were starting to speculate about. So the full trade looks like this. So they also had a conditional 2024 first. So there's some more value. I think that makes a lot more sense. I think that makes sense now. Devils win, in my opinion, says Price on Ice. Devils need a finisher and a bit of a nitty-gritty guy. 2 first is a hefty price, but it's really all important to me. I don't see the first being very good either. So The Sharks getting back 2 first-round picks definitely adds to the value and makes sense why they didn't get one of the premier prospects back. But Timo Meier, 50% salary retained, and Scott Harrington go to San Jose for Fabian Zetterlund, Andreas Johnsson, Nikita Okhotiuk, Shakir Mukhamadullin, a 2023 first, and a conditional 2024 first. So no Holtz, no Nemec, no Mercer, no Casey, no Hughes, none of those big premier blue chip names. But the Sharks do get back 3 solid prospects and 2 first-round picks. I think it's a good return. I just don't think that it was what people were expecting after we were hung up for like 3 hours waiting to see what the return would be on this trade, right? I think that's fair to say as well. So let me know your thoughts down here in the comments as we keep going. For some reason, I'm not able to pull them up, which is frustrating. I'm sorry about that, but I will read them out as they come. There's the full return for you there, Corey. Devils have the prospect to make another big trade if they want as well. Let me see here. So big deal that finally comes to a fruition here. We finally get the result. 2 first-round picks, 3 prospects, and a contract move in Andreas Johnsson. Moving, no-brainer for the Devils to move that out, says Jay Fresh, and I agree. I don't think there's any other cards to really show, eh? Makes sense. Yeah. And it does. The deal puts the Sharks over the 50 contract limit. That's why it wasn't being allowed. A deal similar to that wasn't being allowed on the cap-friendly trade machine. So they'll have to make another deal or do some other transaction to get under that limit. Yeah, that is true. Okay. So we looked at Shakir, we looked at Nikita, we looked at Zetterlund. Let's look at Andreas Johnsson now, who unfortunately has not been having the best of times over in New Jersey. If I could pull up his stats, Andreas Johnsson came to the Devils as a free agent, leaving Toronto, and just really hasn't worked out for the Devils too much since. Former 7th-round pick in 2013. He's put together a pretty solid career for himself, but getting paid, $3.4 million? That hurts a little bit. Got sent down to the AHL at the start of this season. Through 36 games, has 29 points. That's great. Last season, through his first few years with the Devils, 11 points in 50 games, 35 points in 71 games, no points in 2 games. So that's 52, 130 plus games, and he has less than 50 points to show for it. Yeah, I understand the frustration. And he does have he's a UFA after this season, I believe. Let's see. So another comment coming in here from Tanji: with Nashville and Chicago selling and Sharks moving EK2, maybe. Who do you think does the worst next year? Or is it still Columbus, Anaheim, Coyotes? I think Columbus might take a step forward. I guess still see Anaheim and the Coyotes more at the bottom. I think the Coyotes, unfortunately, are still at the bottom. Carlson could be the contract they remove. Yeah, but I don't know about Carlson moving just yet. Devils get a proven player and keep all their big prospects, while the Sharks get some good players and 2 first-rounders. Both teams win here. I agree with that. I think we can call it a win-win at this point. It was looking into fleece territory. Then it was looking into the Sharks didn't get a good return at all. Now I think I can say, although the pieces aren't the most exciting, you get 3 prospects to restock the shelves. You get a roster player in Andreas Johnsson who maybe wants to stick around. And you get 2 first-round picks as a rebuilding team. I like it. Dabrowski-Ego, I even said this once, Johnsson was going to be gone by the deadline. The Devils didn't need him anymore, and his cap was useless. He wasn't too hot with the Devils at all, which wasn't a surprise when he was sent down. Yeah, unfortunately. So I don't really have too much more to say about the prospects like Shakir and Nikita who are overseas. Zetterlund, as we saw on the J Fresh card, is a very exciting middle 6 defensive guy. That would be a good piece of any solid team. I don't think you can count on him to be someone who carries. But Timo Meier, now getting back into Timo Meier is going to be a huge addition to the New Jersey Devils. And I mean huge. As I'm not showing the screen right now, I'm just trying to refresh Cap Friendly and see if they have the trade put through just yet. Nikita is in Utica. Yes, he is. Nikita's in Utica. Sorry, I meant just the players who haven't signed, who haven't touched the NHL yet. Sorry, I meant to say that, who haven't had any NHL experience. Therefore, the JFresh card is not available. So Nikita and Shakir, both players who haven't played in the NHL just yet. But Zetterlund, in the small sample size, we're able to see what the card says about him, and it's exciting. Although it's a small sample size, it is exciting. So I think that we can call it a win-win, but I give the edge, I'll tell you why. I give the edge to the Devils just because they didn't give up as much as they thought that they probably would have had to. Does that make sense? They gave up a good package for the Sharks, but they didn't give up as much as they would have been expected to, nor did they touch their major prospects. Therefore, I give them the edge in this trade just because they were able to do it without having to mortgage their future, if that makes sense. He's not really a rental, even without an extension. He's an RFA at the end of the year. Yeah, I think Timo's definitely extending with New Jersey. I have no doubt in my mind. I think Kane is definitely going to go to the Rangers, Tangi, for sure. Mark Giordano, yes, good point there from Price on Ice, new franchise leader in blocked shots. So yeah, no, okay, so it's not on cap friendly just yet. But 3 prospects, Andreas Johnsson, and 2 first-round picks going back to the San Jose Sharks in this deal. I wish I could say more with the hour, like 45 minutes that we did previously. I felt like we already pretty much said everything about where Timo Meier fits into the lineup, how he's going to be in the top 6. Give me a nice line of Bratt, Hughes, Meier. Give me a second line of Nico Hischier, Thomas Tatar, and I don't know, Sharangovich. I love that top 6 and that top 9. I've only been live here for another 16 minutes, Dexter. I stopped at an hour 45 when we're still waiting on the details. Tangi, any chance of Tarasenko being flipped to another team, then considering he's not fitting well on... No. For sure he's staying in New York. For sure he's going to stay in New York. He won't get flipped. If they were going to flip Tarasenko, they would have done it already to get Patrick Kane inside, but there's no way they move him after just getting him for like 5 games or whatever. No, that would not happen. Maybe in an EA NHL franchise world, but no, I think the Rangers wouldn't do that. Yeah, Tampa is trying to get Jeannot at the moment. Yes, they are. Going back to Twitter here. The Devils were really, they had a gif of a clock going. That's how long they were waiting. So let's pull this up one last time and go through it before I just call it a night, because I think we've exhausted everything on this trade. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that for breaking news and analysis in the real world of hockey. But the New Jersey Devils receive Timo Meier at 50% salary retained, no extension, as well as Scott Harrington, depth defenseman and top 6 player, one of the premier forwards in the NHL, driving offense in the highest percentiles of even strength offense, goals per 60 and all that. The Devils receive that, and in exchange, they send the San Jose Sharks Fabian Zetterlund, a player who will likely finish top 15 in Calder voting this season, a player who is very strong defensively in the middle 6. Andreas Johnsson, who after a couple of years with the Devils spent this season in the AHL, but is still an AHL caliber player in my opinion. Nikita Okhotiuk, who is a defenseman down in Utica, former second-round pick, I believe I said. Shakir Mukhamadullin, who is still over in the KHL, former 20th overall first-round pick, who is, I would assume, would come over to San Jose next season. A 2023 first and a conditional 2024 first. The only thing we don't know about this trade right now is what's that condition on the 2024 first. But essentially, if you count Shakir as a first-round pick, you get the value of 3 first-round picks, a second and a third, if you count that, and Andreas Johnsson as a contract. So if you look at where they're drafted and what their value is, 3 firsts, a second, and a third is the value of the players. So you could kind of call it that if you look at it that way. For Timo Meier at 50% retained and Scott Harrington. So yes, we do have the return. It is on your screen right now. That is the return in the Timo Meier trade. I think it's a win-win because the Sharks get to restock their shelves. They get good picks and they get to have options, I suppose, right? The Devils If they extend Timo Meier, I believe they win it by even more. But even if they weren't, well, if they don't win the cup and Meier doesn't extend and he really wants out, then I don't think they win the trade. But no Holtz, no Holtz. I think the Devils win this trade because aside from the value of Timo Meier and aside from the very big likelihood that he'll resign, they also don't give up any of their blue chip prospects. No Nemec, no Hughes, no Mercer, no what's his name? I've said these names so many times they're just blurring together. No what name am I looking for? Holtz. No Holtz. None of those top 4 prospects, I would say, get moved. So I think that is a big win for them. No Holtz being moved, no Nemec being moved, no Hughes being moved, no Mercer being moved. Yes, you lose a little bit of your supply. 2 of your higher defensive prospects, Shakir and Nikita. Zetterlund, who was a great breakout player, solid 3rd, 4th line guy with great defensive attributes, a guy who is, like I said, is likely going to finish top 15 in Calder voting this season. You miss out on him. You lose those 3 prospects, as well as the prospects that would have come from a 2023 first and a 2024 first. You lose out on that, but you get one of the better wingers and the best of what he does, one of the best wingers in terms of what he does in the NHL in Timo Meier, and you get a depth defenseman for a deep postseason run. Now imagine the Devils lose to the Rangers in round 1. That would be a disaster. But still, if they can get Timo Meier extended, that would be big. Yeah, Zetterlund from Justin here. Zetterlund is going to be an excellent player, but but excuse me, I'm trying to read while also looking at complete hockey news here. But this screams quantity over quality. I agree. Not moving Nemec, Hughes, Casey, Holtz, Mercer, Gritsuk is unbelievable. Yes, well said there from Justin. So there's another way to look at it right here. We still don't know what the condition is on the 2024 first round pick. I would imagine it's something along the lines of it would either be 2024 or 2025. Or maybe the first becomes a second if Meier doesn't extend, but I would very highly doubt that it's one of those firsts that go away if something doesn't happen. It's likely just that the first can be changed between years or maybe go down to a second if certain things happen, right? Chris says, what a steal for the Devils. They get Meier and Harrington and not give up Holtz, Nemec, and Mercer. Complete win for the Devils. I think there is some risk because you're emptying your shelves a little bit, but you still have all your major pieces and you're going to be a strong team for years to come. CBA, no re-signing conditions are even a thing anymore. Oh, that's true per 2020. Thank you for adding that, Justin. So then I would imagine it's something else minor then, because they need to get the value. It has to be a first or a second. Maybe it's the years, but I would say that it has to be some value there. The Devils do give up a lot of draft capital. They have all their seconds and they have 2 of their next 3 thirds still stocked up. They still have those in their cupboard, which is great. They lose out on their first, and let's say their 2 firsts, assuming that everything goes according to what the conditions are. They still have all their seconds, 2 out of 3 thirds, all 4ths, all 5ths, all 6ths, all 7ths, and all of their prospects. Just organizationally, the Devils are in a great spot right now. A very, very good spot. Yes, they're going to have to re-sign Jesper Bratt. They got to extend Timo Meier. Maybe their defense changes a little bit if they can only keep one of Severson or Graves. But they have Hughes, Nico Hischier, Andre Palat, Hamilton, Marino, Siegenthaler even, Vitek Vanacek for the next couple of years after this one. A lot of their main players, and you would hope Timo Meier as well, signed up long-term. Maybe next season there's no Thomas Tatar or there's no Damon Severson, like I said, but they're going to get Mercer extended. They're going to get Timo Meier extended. They're going to hopefully get Jesper Bratt extended, Jesper Boquist, Michael McLeod, Igor Sharangovich, and don't forget even Mackenzie Blackwood. They got to figure out what's up with him. I would think something happens sooner rather than later for him because I don't think he's going to be coming back as a Devil, but more to speculate on later on. It seems like there's someone else going to New Jersey, likely a minor leaguer per David Pagnotta, since San Jose would be over the contract limit. Yeah, if it's CJ Seuss, I'm going to buzz because that's the name that I threw out there. Yeah, someone else is likely going to happen. Puts the deal over the limit, so there's another Sharks player, a minor leaguer in the deal just to make it happen. So the official full deal is not known yet, as the Sharks will also be sending a minor leaguer to the Devils, and we don't know the condition on the 2024 first, but this is the deal right now. Let's go back to the J Fresh card, as we now have over 80 of you in here. I want to make sure that we get an understanding of, yes, the Devils get a great player, but how great is that player? I don't know if it's understood how good he is. Fabian Zetterlund, by the way, if you're just joining us, if you want to, we're saying he's an elite, potentially a future elite defensive forward, 87th percentile for even strength defense this season in a limited role, understandably, but it's going to be a solid middle six player, I would think. But Timo Meier is one of the premier forwards in the NHL. Scott Harrington, decent depth defenseman as well. Timo Meier in the 97th percentile projected wins above replacement over the last 3 seasons. Over the last 2 seasons, he's in at the very top. This season itself, he's near the 100th percentile. But yeah, we're basically at the finish line, finally. You know what? If you've been watching for an extended time, please leave a like just for my sanity. What a crazy ride this has been. He is in the 99th percentile of even strength offense, the 90th percentile of goals per 60. He's playing with great teammates against high levels of competition, great finishing. Even if passing or playmaking isn't his thing, he's still in the 71st percentile of primary assists per 60. Not a defensive forward, but solid enough at 72nd percentile of even strength defense. Looking at his projection card entering the season, he didn't quite reach all these numbers, but put him on the New Jersey Devils now, give him those line mates, he can definitely reach that 99th percentile of shots, the 100th percentile of rush shots, the 92nd percentile of primary assists, 97 for zone entries, 97 shot contributions, 97 rush offense, 96 for penalties drawn even. So Timo Meier is just a machine out there. And if I'm a Devils fan, I am giddy with what excitement is going to be coming my way in the postseason, especially. But it's going to be a loaded postseason because the Devils and the Rangers on a collision course. It's going to be Patrick Kane to the Rangers soon enough. It's going to be a scary first round. So the Devils got Timo Meier and keep Hughes, Nemec, Mercer, Holtz, Casey, Shrangovich, Wood, Tatar, all their NHL D, young and old, tidy work. That's from Nathan Grav. And I think that's about it. Braden Schneider being sent to Hartford. He'll be back in a few days. That's over in New York. So yeah, the Devils trade is happening very soon. We don't know. Interesting. From Frank Saravalli here. The minor leaguer may just be Max Verano, but he may have been the one injured. Looks like nice work. So it could be Max Verano who goes back to the Devils. But as of now, this is the full deal. This is what we know. There's more here. What's it? Ibragimov, Hatakka, Émond. Oh, okay, interesting. Thank you to Joseph and Dabrowski for that. So there's even more coming in now. So, man, hold on, I got to pull up more windows on these players. So the Devils are also getting on top of Meier and Harrington. They're also getting Ibragimov, Hatakka, Émond, and a 2024 fifth round pick. Wow, so it wasn't the complete deal yet. Now we're at the complete deal. Check the San Jose Sharks page. Yeah, let's check that out. So we'll get the official final deal, as we're still not even there yet. It's been a couple times where we think we have the official full deal. We're at a good 4 hours since the trade broke, maybe by now, and we're still waiting. Come on. I'm going to the San Jose Sharks page now. Okay. All right. Here it is. Sharks page. Thank you very much. So let's do it. We have officially made a trade. 2,000 going to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Timo Meier and company. 2023 first round pick. Conditional 2024 first round pick. Shakir Mukhamadullin, Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita Okhotiuk, Andreas Johnsson, and a 2024 seventh round pick. Going to New Jersey, along with Timo Meier, is Scott Harrington, Santeri Hatakka, Timur Ibragimov, Zach Émond, I believe that's his name, and Colorado's 2024 fifth round pick. Boy, what a trade this is. And now I see why it took so long to hammer out. all those roster spots. So I recognize Hatakka and Ibragimov and Émond from the Sharks franchise mode series. Let me just pull up some quick numbers on these guys. So the Devils, this deal just keeps getting better for them, I have to say. It's a fair deal, but like they're really getting their money's worth here for giving up those 2 first-round picks, especially. So Hatakka is a former 6th-round pick in 2019, a defenseman who scored 12 points in 41 games last year in the AHL, 2 points in 8 games this season. Okay, good to note. What am I looking for now? Ibragimov. How do you spell this? Imov. I can't say I'm too familiar with this guy. I know Hatakka. I know Émond. What's his name? Igor? Where is he? You have to forgive me here for a second as I'm doing things on the fly. His name was Timur. That's what his name was. Ibragimov, DB. Oh, he was right there, Timur. I was looking for Igor. He was right there on the screen. All right, so Timur, let's see this guy. Let's bring it up now. If I could just get it all in one place, that would be great. Timur Ibragimov. Okay, he is a 2019 6th-round pick, currently playing in the ECHL. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice your attention for a moment. I'll have to ask you to bear with me as I'm just going to pull up all of the screens on these players so I can show you all of them at once. It's gonna be a couple seconds of nothing happening, but please do bear with me as we'll be able to get them all up. The condition cannot be if they sign. It's part of the CBA. That was brought to my attention by, was it Justin who just said that earlier? So we get Hatakka. I want to be able to put a timestamp in this video where I show you the entire deal very concisely. They also get Zachary Émond. Okay, Zachary Émond. He played for. I think he played with my buddy in the QMJHL. That's funny. He is a goaltender. Has he been playing with the Barracuda? No, he's been playing in the ECHL as well. But he is also a former 6th-round pick. Okay. They also get Harrington. I'm really annoyed that StreamYards didn't bring up the information there. Harrington, Timo Meier. So we already saw the screen on Timo Meier. So now that you know all these details about the Sharks also getting the Devils are also getting back like 3 low-level prospects. Does this make you think that they won the trade even more? Love this trade. Go Devs, go, says Doug. Does this make you like the trade even more now that the Devils are getting back, not the biggest names, but they get back 3 low-level prospects? I'm eating this up if I'm a Devils fan. Forget this trade. Jack Johnsson got traded. Yeah, Jack Johnsson back to the Colorado Avalanche. I'll show you in just a second, Zachary. I'm opening it up right now. It's a bunch of them. I want to have them all in one place, so it's not like me saying it and then 2 minutes later I show the next one, 2 minutes later I show the next one. I want to have them all ready in one place. Then I'll be able to show you the whole deal. Bear with me for just a moment, Zachary. I'm going to get it all in one place for you. All nice and concise. I'll get you that package in just a second, Owen. I'm pulling it up. Oh boy, my poor computer. You did a good job today, buddy. You did a good job. All these data casts. Okay, I think we're ready. Here we go. So the San Jose Sharks acquire a 2023 first-round pick, a conditional 2024 first-round pick, Shakir Mukhamadullin, Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita Okhotiuk, Andreas Johnsson, and a 2024 7th-round pick in exchange for Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, who is a depth defenseman, Santeri Hatakka, who, let me show you this, a former 6th-round pick, 184th overall in 2019, a defenseman, 22 years of age, playing down in the AHL, as well as Timur Ibragimov. Ibragimov, who's playing down in the ECHL, also a 6th-round pick in 2019 of the Sharks, a left winger, 22 years of age, 32 points in 53 games this season. And Zach Émond, another 6th-round pick from the 2018 draft, who is also playing down in the ECHL, but has had some AHL experience, has very good numbers in 4 appearances with Wichita. Only 4 appearances in 2022-23. He played a lot in the QMJHL, and he had pretty solid numbers, decent enough. His final years were so-so. But those are the pieces that get added to the deal for the Devils, and they also receive a 2024 5th-round pick from the Colorado Avalanche. So Timo Meier, one of the most dominating forwards in the NHL, he gets traded with Scott Harrington, a depth defenseman, 35th percentile, wins above replacement. Timo Meier in that 97th percentile overall, 99th of even strength offense. He goes with Harrington and those 3 prospects and the 5th round pick to New Jersey in exchange for 2 firsts, a 7th, Mukhamadullin, Zetterlund, Okhotiuk, and Andreas Johnsson. There is the trade. That's pretty much all I can say. It is a big package. I think the more I think about it, the Devils definitely win this trade, I think. Yes, the Sharks got value for maybe those picks weren't going to become anything. But for the Devils to not have to give up any of their major pieces, that's a big win. That is a big win for the Devils. Not in terms of like, oh, they won this deal that they fleeced, but they won this deal because of the value that they got back. Forget the value that they gave, even the value that they got back. But an extension is not a part of the deal at this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if an extension comes very soon. Yeah, the East is insane this season. The conditions, Jonas, we don't know the conditions on the trade just yet, but that's what we know right now for the trade. Okay, from Justin, thank you. Per Frank Saravalli, Meier has to play 50% of games in 2023. New Jersey has to make the Eastern Conference Final in 2023, or the 2024, sorry. And then for the pick to become a top 10 lottery protected 24. Oh my goodness. Wow. Thank you, Justin. So let me go through that again. Let's say this one last time. The 1st round pick in 2023 is straight up. The 2024 1st round pick that the Sharks are receiving from the New Jersey Devils will become a 2nd round pick under certain conditions. Those conditions are Timo Meier has to play 50% of the games in 2023, and New Jersey has to make the Eastern Conference Final in 2023 or 2024 for it to become a top 10 protected 2024 first. So if Timo Meier doesn't play 50% of the games in 2023, and or New Jersey doesn't make the Eastern Conference Final this year or next year, that 2024 first becomes a 2024 second. If those things happen, it becomes a 2024 top 10 protected 1st round pick. Wow. So a guaranteed first, a guaranteed 7th, and a conditional first that could become a 2nd worst case, with those 3 prospects and Andreas Johnsson in exchange for Meier, Harrington, and those 3 low-level prospects and a 5th round pick. Just for good measure, 3 low-level prospects and a 5th. Well, that's a big move with Meier and Kane off the board. We'll wait for Kane's midweek trade to be official. Some of the top names still out there include Chychrun, JVR, Erik Karlsson, John Klingberg, Brock Besser, Jake McCabe, and Kevin Hayes. So here's the deal right here. Wow, full details on that trade. My goodness. Fitzgerald to address the media in moments. Yeah, Davin wishing that the Sharks would have taken Holtz for sure. So there are the full details. Meier, Harrington, Hatakka, Émond, and I think even Ibragimov with the 5th in 2024. For Zetterlund, Mukhamadullin, Johnsson, Okhotiuk, 2023 first, 2024. I guess you could call it conditional 2nd, as it's a guaranteed worst-case 2nd that could become a 1st if New Jersey makes the Eastern Conference Final this year or next year, and Meier plays 50% of the games, and San Jose will retain 50% of Meier's salary. Whew. Wow. My goodness. I want to see, there's a tweet that Dave Pagnotta had put out earlier today saying that they turned down some major deals. Did I already pass it? No. Let me see here. I gotta find this. Meier seeking $9 million plus AAV. Yeah. Let me find this. Yeah, Zetterlund's a safe bet to be at least a third liner. Maybe he deleted it? I don't know. Or I'm just scrolling past it and I'm blind. No, maybe he deleted it. But he had tweeted at one point that the Devils had turned the Sharks had turned down a package of a first, a second, and a top prospect from a team, and then another package that was similar as well. Unless am I just delusional? I thought I had seen that earlier from Pagnotta. The offers were a first, a late first, and a prospect. Yeah. Fitzgerald will talk to the media soon. Meier at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I'll give up on trying to find that. But yeah, there were previous offers in place that ended up not happening, and a first and a second and a second prospect. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Sam. I wasn't just dreaming that. Thank you. Here are those for the curious, those who are curious on the second rounder who could become a first. San Jose receives a conditional 2024 second round pick should New Jersey reach the 2023 Eastern Conference Final and Meier plays in at least 50% of Meier's playoff games in 2023, or the 2024 Eastern Conference Final. So not necessarily that Meier has to play in those. The Timo Meier could go to a different team, and the Devils could reach the Eastern Conference Final in 2024 and have that become a first, right? If that happens, New Jersey will transfer its own first-round pick in 2024, top 10 protected, instead of its own second-round pick in 2024. If New Jersey's first-round pick in 2024 is a top 10 selection, New Jersey will have the option to instead transfer its own first-round pick in 2025 to San Jose. Should New Jersey transfer its first-round pick in 2024 per the original condition, New Jersey will instead transfer its own first-round pick in 2025 should they reach the 2024 Eastern Conference Finals. My goodness, that's a lot of conditions. Wow. Woo. Yeah. I think Holtz will be a 25-plus goal scorer in his career. I could see 30-plus goals in his career consistently as well. I like him a lot. So yeah, a lot. I understand why it took so long for this deal for the details to come out on it, but we finally know all the details, and that is it. Here was a prediction last week from Elliot Friedman saying from Jason Bukala. Wow, not a bad prediction there. And that's about it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. So I think we'll wrap up there after a lot of Timo Meier coverage. Even at the end of this 40-plus minute stream, we're just getting the final details at the end of it. So it has been a long road. Thanks to those who have been a part of it, joining in. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to be subscribed. We'd love to have you join in on the team, and of course, join over on the Discord server. Link in the description, or at least it will be. No, it is there. It is there. If you're watching after the fact, let me know your thoughts on who you think won this deal, and be sure to join us back here for live trade deadline coverage on March the 3rd, Friday, coming your way soon, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I couldn't show your comments in this one. I'm not sure why it didn't show up. Really annoying why it's blank on the screen over here, but I'm following alongside on my phone. Thank you for being a part of it. I hope to hear more from you over on the Discord server and down in the comments. Check out the rest of the channel, because if you've enjoyed this, I'm sure you'd enjoy everything else that we do with the breaking news, the NHL 23 franchise mode, career simulations, and all that great stuff. Big news, Eastern Conference, you have been put on notice. Yeah, not only are the conditions hard to meet, it's basically top 10 protected as well. Yeah. So I would think at the very worst case, it's a second round pick. At the very worst case, it's a first, a second, and everything else. For Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, a fifth, and those minor prospects. That's about it. So everyone have yourselves a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm sure we'll be back soon for Patrick Kane news and other breaking trades around the NHL. As soon as they happen, we'll be here live, unless it's like 11 a.m. on a work day, which is the most annoying part. Yeah, I do have a custom roster for PS4, Sam. Not updated. I think the most recent update was in November, or yeah, I think it was around November. So it's not updated with all the most recent line changes and stuff like that, but I do have a video on the channel. If you type in Data782 custom roster on YouTube, you'll find that. It's called on PlayStation 4. It's called data cap compliant, because it keeps your rosters from teams from changing the cap hits, because there's no LTIR in NHL franchise mode. So it's called Data Cap Compliant 2, actually, the most recent one. That's on PlayStation 4. Yeah. So that's about it. Big trade, big details. Eastern Conference, you have been put on notice. Devils, Rangers, Bruins, 3 very competitive teams going for the Stanley Cup, who may one or two of them may not even make it past rounds 1 or 2, right? It'll be very unfortunate once they meet each other, but only one can survive. You would think the Cup has to be coming east, and it's going to be a great postseason. Yeah, you can do that. Exactly, Sam. There you go. So thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a great evening. We'll talk soon. Thank you for joining us through the entire saga. If you've been here through the entire time, you're a real trooper. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.